Welcome to the Roundtable Podcast.
Hello.
I'd like to welcome you to the show. I know that
RW3 looking
bright, but we still like to welcome you to the show. If you're watching, this could be on YouTube at this. It's running live now, but if you play it later on, you'll see us. This is the Roundtable Podcast, guys. We come to you today with just entertainment, news, or things that may be trending that we consider to be interesting to have dialogue about. Guys, we'll do those type of topics. But at the same time, if you have something that you're interested in us talking about, guys, all you do is put it in the comment section, and if we think that is a good conversation, we'll talk about it. Yeah. So we leave it in your hands at sometimes. But yeah, this man, there's a lot going on in the news.
Yeah, a lot.
A lot. Guys, how was your weekend or weekdays or whatever?
It was good. And are you all able to Lady B, are you able to text me a link that I can forward? Someone wants to jump on, a link that I can just forward to somebody in my text real quick, like Facebook, somebody can participate that y'all can send me. Yeah. That I can forward to somebody real quick.
Yeah, just you talking about to participate on the show.
Yeah, so they can, right.
Oh yeah, our producer can do that. They can send it to your email.
Now, are you talking about a link that they'll come on the video?
Well, they can see. Like if you send them my phone, I just forward it to them on my phone real quick. So my email.
Oh, so they can see the show.
Right.
Can you do that?
They can go to our website, can't they? I think it's the website. We'll send you some information to the website.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
We'll take care
of it through the website. Okay. We're sending it to you as we speak.
All right.
She is. I say she's sending it to you as we speak.
That's right. But,
typically, Tom, if people want to watch it live, they have to if they want to watch it live and comment, they have to go on Facebook
or YouTube.
Facebook or YouTube.
So can they comment from YouTube?
Yeah.
Yep.
So they could okay, all right. I mean, because we're on the talking end, so I really don't ever see it on the receiving end. And so another thing I wanted you to throw out there real quick, you offer your services for those who might be interested in doing a podcast. So can you just put that out there? Because I had a couple of people who were like, oh, I want to do a podcast. So what are your fees, or what is your structure? How does one contact you if they're interested in you guys facilitating a podcast?
All right.
Well, you can talk about the contact information. We can put that on the screen.
Yes.
But I mean, we run a commercial that if you would like to have your own podcast, it'll be up here. It'll be in this studio. This particular studio, or we can connect it to a like you're seeing now. We can make it happen like this, where you have your pod, in the same way, and that would be, I believe I said 3 times in that month. And the good thing about it, you don't have to necessarily. I mean, it'll be additional fees if you go over 30 minutes. You know what I mean? The average show. Around 30 minutes, you just over is an hour. But then there's additional fees. But if you keep it at 30 minutes, if you keep it and it's 3 times the month, you would get that price. I believe I quoted it $250 for the whole month, which I think is a good deal. You know what I mean? In the potting world, so it's $250 a month. You come on 3 times in that month. It's 30 minutes per pod, that you would do. And that will come with logo design. We help you with your logo, your background. Even see, there's a privilege that you will get even putting the text up there. You know what I mean? That's not normal. You know what I mean? So we'll be operating that on our side. So whoever that person is, they're gonna have an engineer, someone who's actually engineering this thing and helping them, whether it be them in the studio or online like we are at this time, and everything. So great deal. We have the information below the screen. They definitely can contact us, and we can just talk. There's nothing wrong with talking to see if it's something that you want to customize. You can do that. Just give us a call before you say no or just give up. If you really want a pie, just talk to us, and we can see how we can structure something that would work for you as well as us. So don't just give up, because I really want everybody to have them. This is the future right now. This is the future right now. So potting if you want to express your voice, if you want to get your voice out, this is the time to do it. And this is a great way to do it. If you want easy and you just all you want to do is just bring your voice up there. Because that's all you'll be doing. You just bring if you're online in this format, all you do is bring what it is you want to talk about. We got everything else covered for you. You know what I mean? So, but even if you come in the studio, it's the same way. Just bring your materials. We got everything else covered for you. Yeah. So that's a good thing to think about. We're going to take that headache away for 200.
Right.
So I just sent you that link, RW3.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. But guys, that's hey, we see. I know there's a lot in the news. My goodness, there's just so much in the news today. And I guess if you living under a rock, you wouldn't know what's going on with anything, unless you're living up under that joke. This is a big old rock too, But guys, but all I'm saying is that there's a lot of stuff going on in the news, and I think that we're going to, before we get to, I know Donald Trump and Joe Biden, I get it, I know that's what we're going to talk about. But before we get there, I want to go somewhere else, up to an article or a news clipping that we saw concerning, what is the subject of?
So basically it's we're gonna skip it's the title, I just said, generational wealth. It's about a lady who was discriminated against dealing with the housing market. It was a black lady who married a white man, and they tried to get the house appraised. The white appraiser came by, and he was already immediately unpleasant, making one rude comment after another. But when he saw that the lady working at her home office during the walkthrough, at the end of it, they received an appraisal result that was so low that it was laughable. So they appraised far lower than the neighboring houses that sold. And so when she went back and wanted the house appraised, they did it differently. They pulled out all of the pictures of all the black family members, all the relatives, anything that showed anything dealing with blackness. I'm gonna say it like that. She moved it out, and she allowed her husband this time to be at the house. He's white. They sent in another appraisal again. He came back, and then the house got appraised at a way higher amount than it was. So we have a video that I wanted to play. It was just kind of
let's play the video. We're gonna play the video and check it out.
Outside, this is a beautiful home here in Ortega. 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, sitting on almost a half acre of space. But the family says that they were judged harshly for the contents on the inside. Abby Horton has lived with her family at this home for 3 years. She and her husband wanted to get the house appraised. The appraiser gave the home a value of $330,000, significantly lower than neighboring houses. So Horton conducted an experiment. She says she took down all family pictures with black relatives and pictures of African-American greats. She even took her Toni Morrison books off of her bookshelf. Horton and her family left the house during the second viewing, while her husband, who is white, stayed behind. second appraisal from a different company, $135,000 higher, 40% more than the previous appraised value. Horton says she was heartbroken, but because of previous experience, she knew this had to be done.
We can cut it right there. We see. Now, wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I just,
so-
you know what, you can let it play if you just wanted to play without.
But that one is more audio. But
Okay, yeah, that's good. No audio, just let it play. But I mean, what do we think about this?
Yeah.
You know, and this is a reality.
Yeah.
You know, it's a reality that we sometimes don't, or we are in a lot of times denial to think that someone could be either making or paying more, and whether that's whether it be financing, mortgage, a car, an apartment. I mean, you just don't know.
You know, like you say, you don't know.
Yeah, you don't really know. That's right. Hey, what do you guys think about that article?
I'm not surprised. You know, it's almost impossible to legislate hate and what's in people's hearts. And, you know, a lot of times, you know, Republicans, you know, they like to lean towards free market. They like to lean towards less oversight and regulation, right? And I'm not saying all, because I do think Republicans have a generally white privilege undertone, I think, with that particular party. So when you have less regulation, less oversight that guide practices in America, there's less opportunity, there's more opportunity for these things to happen. If there's no checks and balances in terms of how we do business, because if people are racist, no matter what we do or what we say, systematic, direct, indirect, they're going to operate in that way as long as they're allowed to do it. You know, so that's just my thought on it.
Yeah, that's a very good perspective that you bring to the table, RW3. I agree. That's why we have to always be 2 steps ahead of the game, because I think one of the things that they did was got a second appraisal, you know, and the I believe that you can go on the internet and see like what the houses in your neighborhood are selling for. So, you know, unfortunately, you can't just be trusting. You know, you still have to be at the helm, and making sure that, you know, what's being told to you is accurate.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true. And she was talking about generational wealth in terms of the Black community, how we've lost so much due to situations such as this. How does that keep us, you know, like from growing, you know, as far as building wealth for our generation when we run into situations such as this?
Well, take a look at redlining in the city of Detroit. I mean, you don't have to look too far. You don't have to dig too deep. It's literally like within 2 generations of us sitting here, obvious practices of how discrimination has impeded our ability to accumulate wealth. You only allow us to stay in neighborhoods, then you drove freeway through those neighborhoods and created dead ends, you know. I mean, like, just, and then you de-invested in those pockets, you know.
Right. So, but what about when they were saying like other houses in that community were appraising for way higher, but on that first appraisal, he tried to go very, very low, like really low. So what is that saying? You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so who were in those other homes? Were they Black families, or were they white families? You know what I'm saying? So we don't really.
I think that it shows it's opening up eyes and showing the systemic racism
Yeah.
that's here in this system. That's just getting more of a. This stuff been going on. We just thought because we had a little couple of dollars, we thinking that we're paying the same price. I don't mind until it comes out that you were paying always more. And listen, I remember. Listen, here we go. I remember listening to this Jewish guy. And he was in the banking system, and he was talking about how, you know, we never charge our own people a percentage. We just interest. Yeah, we never charge them interest. I believe that's what he said. He said that's what we do to our people. We don't charge our people interest. And I think the Arabic family have that same, where some things that they do because they're looking out for their own people, for each other. See, here's the thing. We don't do that. Or we don't even believe it don't exist. Where it really exists, there are people, because of your skin color. This is the truth. Because of who you are, you won't get that same deal. And it's just, that's how life been for so many years.
It's nothing new.
Yeah, it's nothing new. It's been going on. I mean, it just, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but I'm saying that it benefits somebody. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't benefit me. It's a reality. And she showed that reality to be true.
And when I was, go ahead.
Go ahead.
When I was at I'm trying to remember what conference I was at, but anyway, it was a national conference, and I attended this workshop. I was trying to pull the same concept online. I've seen it online before, but it talks about neighborhoods and their tipping point. And basically, it talks about how once you have so many families of color that enter into the neighborhood, that the value of the homes automatically begin to depreciate. Based purely on the number of families of color that live on that block.
Wow.
So, and then I remember, I keep reading these stories related to this very same topic, where just purely based on our color, we don't get the same value out of the business transaction that white people do.
Yeah, and I think it was something that happened. I think it was who was that? Was it? And I don't want to make even at least in this segue about Democrats or Republicans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if Democrats or Republicans had anything to do with this lady being a racist.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know if that's Democrat or Republican. I think it has everything to do with how this world is. I mean, this is the world we live in. So I think it have more to do with that than whether it's Democrat or Republican.
Because when they come up to your house, it ain't about Democrat or Republican. It's like if you're black, your face black is your face white.
Yeah.
So I don't,
I mean, it's
and the sad part about it is that the neighbors, like really, if you think about it, anyone who lives in that neighborhood should be infuriated by that, because if once you sell that house or it appreciates at that low price, that brings the value of the other homes in the neighborhood down. Yep. So it doesn't only impact that person that of color, but all the other white folks and Asian folks and Indian folks that live in that same neighborhood, houses are going to depreciate as well.
But see, the thing is though, in the real estate, there are comps. So it's more than one. You can pick up more than. Right. See, here's the thing. The way it benefits someone is that I'm not giving you the value of this, and someone else can come and take over it at a cheaper price. You get what I mean? So you're not gonna reap the benefits of what everybody else will. So if they gotten 500,000, you only gonna get your house only gonna be worth 350,000. Right. So now look how that works. I'm going to give you 350,000, and the person who comes in to buy it, if they of the other persuasion, they're going to buy it cheaper. So I'm buying it cheaper, and now it's going to value more. You get what I mean? I'm gonna buy it cheaper, value it more, and you're not going to make enough money off the home, so you got to go buy something else cheaper. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, there's a lot of things.
Well, I'm glad that she brought it to the forefront, because I can only imagine how many people have gone through this situation and quietly, you know, accept it. You know what I mean? Because that appraiser should, I don't know if, you know, legal charges could be brought up, but certainly, like, we have certain news programs that have like shame on you segments. So that business or appraiser certainly should have gone in that category, because I mean, we're not talking a difference of a couple of thousand. I think the story said like what, $130,000 higher.
Yeah,
come on now. Come
That's
on.
a lot of money right there.
That is.
So
but how do that make a couple feel like a married couple that's, you know, that's you know, white and black, when they go through stuff like this? You know, how would you feel if you was in that situation? You know, your husband, you know, is white and you're black, and this happens. You get the lower end, and then when he come around, then they go up higher because of the color.
Well, to some people, they think it's necessary. You know, I remember, I remember Dave Chappelle doing one of his comedic jokes. He said, in one of these states, he said it's good to have a white girlfriend, and he said to some degree it's very necessary. You know what I mean? What they would say. I mean, so what I'm saying, it sometimes is. To a racial couple, you can't play that. I mean, that's what she did. She played it to her favor. She said, wait a minute, I see what's going on. Hey, honey, you will stay here. We're gonna take everything down, and boom, and they value it.
They went up.
You know what I mean? So I mean, if it's necessary, I mean, I'm gonna play it.
But what happens for the family that's a black husband and a black wife? You just lose. You know what I'm saying? That's unfair.
Reverse it. Black husband, black wife, white wife.
Well, you know, you can, I mean, with that knowledge, I certainly, if I, you know, I certainly, like, I look at a lot of HGTV anyway. So it's all about staging your home. And they do say, like, you want to declutter. You want to, you know, take down things that are like a personal showcase, because you want the person coming in to be able to visualize themselves in the home. So it's all about how you stage it, you know. So with that knowledge, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like you say, you got to do what you got to do. Take your family photos down.
Yeah. You might have to go put all pictures up of white people's faces, and
there you go.
You got to do to sell your house.
But that's a shame.
I mean,
it's a shame.
It is.
You shouldn't have to do that. I mean, but it just shows you where we are as a country. Someone was telling me this is not. Again, we're not a page where we just tearing down people or things. But they said this. They feel like they're not in the United States. They feel like they just in America. You know what I mean? Because they don't feel like we're united to be given that name. You know what I mean? And then I guess it leads us into our next segue with the what's going on with the Joe Biden and the Donald Trump debate or whatever you want to call that. What do we feel like? I mean, was this a clown hour of debates and jokes and laughs, comedians? You know, what was this? I guess I'll get with. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about this debate? What did it tell you?
We in trouble.
Oh,
sure.
We in trouble. Oh, wow. Say one word. You got to use one word. One word.
A debacle.
Yeah.
Buffoonery.
Yeah.
Come on, RW3. Come on. You gotta,
I can't even. I gotta dig deep for a word for that.
Let me think. One word. Oh my God. I'm trying to think of one word. It was ridiculous.
My would be deception.
Deception.
My word would be deception.
Oh wow.
And I can go down many roads to deception. If I were just to put it to me, from my understanding, but I mean, okay, so the election took place. You know,
The debate took place.
I mean, I said election. The debate took place. We see that there was 2 candidates. They were up there.
Play some video.
I mean, yeah, let's get these videos going, and we don't have to listen to it right now. But did you have a particular order that we should go in order to make it make sense? From, I guess you were saying, some links or something, and maybe because those were some direct questions that were asked. I think.
RW3, did you think of your word yet?
Not yet. I can't find one word. I can't think of one word.
I can say deception, delusional. I mean, and any other words that would go with that.
Disappointing.
Well, intentional. I'll say that, intentional. That's a good word for me. So yeah, deception, delusional, intentional. I mean, in terms of me understanding from my perspective of how this world works, those would be the words, or the defined words that I would use to in this time of event and those to come. But guys, even going there, let's just get into it and start talking about. Let's get some video playing.
Yeah, for a minute. Then let's get some pointers.
I want to make
Mr.
sure.
President, can you let him finish, sir?
He doesn't know how to do that. He has, you know, you picked
Mr.
the
President.
wrong guy, the wrong night.
Listen, did you use the word smart? You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Vote
You're
now.
gonna back the
Make
court?
sure you, in fact, let people know.
He doesn't want
You're
to answer the
senator.
question.
I'm not going to answer the question.
Why would you answer that
because
question?
the question is,
the radical left.
Will
Who
you
is
shut up, man?
listen, who is on your list?
You folks at home, how many of you get up this morning and had an empty chair at the kitchen table because someone died of COVID? How many of you are in a situation where you lost your mom or dad?
There's some low blows.
Holding the phone up, so you could in fact say
We
goodbye.
would have lost far
How
more
many
people.
people? This is the same man.
It's
who
all
told
set
you
up.
By Easter, this would be gone away. By the warm weather, it'd be gone. Miraculous, like a miracle. And by the way, maybe inject some bleach in your arm, and that would take care of it.
This is sarcastic.
1,000 people
They
today
box.
are contracting COVID. In addition to that, about between 750 and 1,000 people today are dying. When he was presented with that number, he said, it is what it is. It is what it is because you are who you are. He knew all the way back in February how serious this crisis was. He knew it was a deadly disease. What did he do? He's on tape as acknowledging.
This should have been on Nick Cannon's
He
show.
didn't tell us or give people a warning of it
For that.
because he didn't want to panic American people. You don't panic. He panicked.
Mr.
Even the
President,
people who
please stop.
testified under oath.
So let me ask you this.
No, go ahead, Mr. I'm listening to you.
Let's cut it. This is we cut it going. When we get it, we understand. So what do we think? I mean, come on. What do we think about this election? I mean, I keep saying this election, this debate. I mean, I guess I want it over so bad. But what do we think about this debate?
You come up with your word yet?
No, it is, and I can't come up with one word. I think. I mean, you pretty much know my stance. I just think, I think Biden is wasting his time, even debating with Donald Trump. I mean, he doesn't even introduce any policy. He doesn't communicate what my plan is in the communicate what my plan is in the next if he gets reelected. He's name calling as if he's an infantile kindergarten child. It's just, I mean, I think Biden is wasting his time even debating with this clown. I mean,
Go ahead, RWT.
I mean, that's just my initial thought. I just think, I mean, it's a waste. I don't have one word. I wasted my eyesight and my vision and my electrical power looking at that.
I just want to throw this out here. I thought about Tone. I thought about you. Because I remember you saying you were not going to vote. And I thought about you because I was like, anyone who was undecided and looked at that debate, I'd probably come to the conclusion that I wasn't voting either.
Yeah.
Except, you know, I'm gonna vote, but I'm just saying like that display of whatever that was, you know, Biden got taken off his square. And, you know, I've been in many debates, so maybe this is a point that we can go into a little more, but I feel like Biden was wrong too for calling the president a clown. Like at the end of the day, he's still the president. No matter what you personally think about this guy, you wouldn't want anyone to call you a different kind of name. You know what I'm saying? It may not be a clown or, you know, like there still has to be some respect for the position. Even I know, and that's, you know, a lot of people was like, no, Trump deserved it, he deserved it. Yes, he did deserve it, but it still made Biden stoop to his level, which if you can't handle the pressure of a Trump, what are you going to do with a Putin? What are you going to do with a Jim Kun Young, whatever his name is? What are you going to do with some of these other world leaders?
Yeah.
Well, what he did when they were sitting in the Situation Room, and he was the one that headed up the whole operation to kill bin Laden. That's what we got a fact. We have a fact of what he did in a real world situation when one of the most notorious people of our time, he headed that up. Biden, not Obama. He ran that. So that's what he did in real time.
Well,
That's a fact. That's not conjecture. That's not innuendo. That's a fact. Now, we can debate how we feel about it, but that's a fact.
okay, but my thing is that even in saying that, it's not that he was Joe Biden. A lot of times they're just given the information. They don't intelligence figure all that out. They figure out what they need to do and they brief the president. The president is not, or Joe Biden, none of them is not sitting in a room with a storyboard trying to figure this thing out because they was elected. So that it was just, if it did happen, you're just saying they got lucky on their watch because it's not them. And then look how many years it took. If they did all of this stuff, if they really wanted to get bin Laden, they could have gotten him. And all you got to do is look at the documentary that Michael Moore put out about the healthcare system, I think it was, and he talked about, it was about Obama. I mean, bin Laden. He did a whole thing on that. So I don't know on that. That's not enough for me. But here's the thing, though. That was then. Okay, that was then. That was the well put together Joe Biden. That wasn't until now, Joe Biden, where couldn't even remember his words. This man was so the cognitive skill. I mean, I don't know mentally, if this man could run office. Just look at this guy. I mean, all you have to do is just look at the demeanor. Yeah, guess what? He couldn't keep up with Donald Trump. That's why he kept slowing down. Because I
agree. But you know, he had a stutter. He's very well known for overcoming his stutter. And so,
but I'm talking about,
again, in my own personal circles, I feel much like you, Tom. Like, I mean, and you know, I feel much like you in that because his cadence and the pace of his speech was so slow, it gave Donald Trump, being who Donald Trump is, that much more opportunity to like insert himself in between, because it was taking Joe Biden like so long just to say 3 words. And so Donald Trump took advantage of it. He just jumped right in.
He took advantage of what? Hold on. Why should he, in his 2 minutes, was supposed to be so if he got 2 minutes, he can sit there and just blow his 2 minutes and not do anything. Trump jump in on his 2 minutes.
But I'm not saying this in comparison to Trump RW3. I'm saying Biden in and of himself. He could have taken that 2 minutes and really delved into policy and like you were saying, his agenda of how he's like, I thought that the questions were on point, like everything that was a hot button topic, the commentator threw out there, or whatever he threw it out there. And his and so Biden could have used those 2 minutes to really like outshine Trump's behavior with intelligent articulation of his plan, and it wasn't there.
So let me ask you a question. I just want to be clear what you're saying.
Okay.
Are you saying that he should have done more? Because he did speak specific plans. But he did say what he was going to do. So he should have did more.
Who spoke specific
We
plan?
need to play that. Should we?
Yeah, we need to play that. I mean, he threw out some numbers, but he didn't come across confident in his numbers. He was like, you could tell he was making sure he didn't.
We changed the narrative now.
No.
I'm just saying.
You sound confident. I'm saying at no point are you saying that him and Trump communicate the same thing specifically. Trump didn't have a plan at all.
Neither one of them had a plan.
Neither one had a plan.
Neither one of them had a. If you understand what it is you're looking for president, if you were to look there tonight, that night, if I'm looking for something specific, as this is why I didn't see that out of either one of them. So either one of them that would make me. And then there was one that they made that they talked about. And the commentator, whatever they call, he even kind of jumped on Joe Biden himself and say, yeah, well, the numbers aren't really. He said, well, this is over time. We can play those videos back. But my thing is that no, I didn't hear it. I can guarantee you, I didn't hear anything specifically that will make me say I'm going to go vote for this guy tomorrow. I didn't see that. I think that was real high in numbers where American peoples that said that they didn't get anything out of this election that would make them say, hey, I feel where this guy is coming from. They didn't go there. They didn't go there.
Like, what was memorable? Like RW3, like you said that Biden talked about his plan. So for you, what was memorable about anything that he said about his plan?
In terms of what? Which area?
Anything. No terms. Anything.
What was memorable? What of his plan that he shared in that debate is still salient for you? It's still like fresh in your mind. Like, oh yeah, I really love when he talked about.
Well, because we don't have time. It's a podcast. Until if he jump on it, just go for it. I can tell you one of the things that I seen that had some value in it, but a little tricky, where he talked about policing. And he asked Donald Trump about the not training, how Donald Trump said, no, that's a racist thing to do, is to train officers. I didn't really understand that. And, it's making America look like we're bad people and we're doing bad things. Where on Biden's side, he talked about the educational factors that would need to take place in terms of doing more training and more where the citizen and the police. He was empathetic, if that's the word, empathetic towards Black people. In that instance, then Donald Trump seemed a little more colder towards that's when the racism statement stepped in, and he said, well, who do you want me to call out? You know what I mean? And we know that name in the group, which I don't even want to name. They name came out, which I don't know about them guys to say that they straight racist, because everybody on there is from different. It's not just all white people. You know what I mean? It's not at all. I think the founder was even Cuban or something. You know what I mean? Out of Canada. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
About the group that Trump was referring to. Yeah. If he was like, if you elect Biden, you're gonna have.
Yeah, the Proud Boy statement. And my thing is, so Joe Biden this is what I seen. I seen the more calmer guy, the more hyper guy. But that doesn't mean that I won't vote. Here's the thing. I'm gonna say it clear. Racism is not a deterrent for me to say I won't vote for you. Not at all. I can care less that you're racist. Or I want to know if you get my vote, what's on the dotted line? What did we sign and agree to? Because you're going to always run it. Trust me, if you worked at different jobs, you experienced racism on that job with that boss, but you still went to that job, you still received that paycheck, and you probably hated his guts. So I'm gonna tell you, racism have nothing to do with my vote. Have nothing to do with me voting because I'm not I've always taught and stuck to the game. It's never business. It's never personal. It's all business. So I don't get it caught up into the emotional game. Oh, I ain't vote for you. No, I'll vote for you if you do something for me. That's how this world works.
Quid pro quo.
So it was a point touched on that Mr. Biden criticized President Trump's management of the coronavirus response. He said, according to figures, his claim is about right. The U.S. population is around 328 million, which is just over 4% of the 7.7 billion global population. So there have been 205,942 coronavirus deaths reported in the U.S., according to the latest Johns Hopkins University data. So he did say that. He said that that Donald Trump he didn't manage the coronavirus.
I don't think neither one know what he did. I just don't. I mean, obviously they played back the video that showed, I forget the guy's name. They showed
Chris Wallace. You talking about the moderator, Chris Wallace?
Remember the video that they put out and they heard this? It was just the audio of Donald Trump talking to this guy. And he was telling
yeah.
It'd be pretty bad. So I don't know. See, I'm always going to play from what the world considered to be a conspiracy theory. So I'm always come from that. I'm gonna come from that angle more than looking at what you. I don't believe what you see and hear is exactly what you hear and see. I think some things is led for you to believe it, and you just take the bait. You get what I mean? So, but I mean, if I'm playing in y'all world. If I'm meaning the world who don't think conspiracy, what you guys call conspiracy, I would look at that debate and say that Donald Trump is a racist. You know what I mean? From that perspective, and I would say,
yeah, I mean, and all the opportunists on that end when he said that junk about stand by, whatever, it ignited every white supremacist group in America. Like, you heard the follow-up stories about how these groups are, they waiting for the order, they waiting for the word. And my second statement is that I don't see how you can not consider racism in your vote, because just like RW3 said earlier, it's when you have racism intertwined and infused in policy, and because it will be, I don't care what kind of business, you may feel like it's strictly business, but if the policies are written by racist folks, believe me, they're going to figure out how to limit your growth.
Be both of them.
Well, that's going to be on both sides.
Right here, Trump said Biden once called African Americans super predators. So in 1993, Mr. Biden warned of predators on our streets during a speech before a vote on the key crime bill in Congress. So there was a specific mention of African Americans, but the crime bill was later criticized for increasing mass incarceration.
And I'm quite sure. See, here's the thing. This is the game that we play. So here's the game. I throw out this, and I can't use it. I don't actually have a reference for that. But what I'm saying is that here's the thing that I think we get caught up in. We get caught up on it. We actually think it's a different side. And half of the time you will do research, and they both were brothers, like Bush and my man who was both skulls and bones. I mean, it's just, but we get so lost in sides that we don't understand there is an agenda for this whole world. Listen, I can never get out of my sight because of just to make somebody else feel good about what I believe. I will always tell you that this is not what you think. You think they're playing a game on you, and you just buy into it. This world is going to be taken over. It's going to be a new world order. We're moving into a new world system, and they understand that, but they have to get chaos started. But that's it. Listen, that's just my perspective of this game that I know that's being played. I don't know if Donald Trump and Joe Biden didn't leave the place and go get a beer or jump on the phone and kick it with each other and laugh and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to call you that." Trump. I didn't mean to call you a clown. Oh yeah, I didn't mean to call you. See, this is
no, because in the debate when Biden went off about his son, I don't think that was an act. I don't think that. I truly think that was an authentic reaction to Trump speaking about his son. Now, from what I saw, and again, my attention was split. I thought that Biden came out of left field with it because at the time Trump was talking about his son that took the money over in Russia or whatever, and then was doing the business. And then, like, right after that comment, Biden started going off about his son that passed away from cancer. But I was told that Trump actually did say something about that son, too. It's just the flow of it. Like, it seemed like Biden was just coming from left field with that one. But anyway, that piece, though, I felt was authentic. There was no underplay. As I say, there was no overplay for the underplay with that one. That was an authentic response.
That's not the first time he made that statement, though. Joe Biden knew that that Donald Trump supposedly had said that they were, what did he say? That they were stupid idiots or something. He had made the statement and he said, my son is not. It was something to that degree. Don't quote me on that. Nobody quote me on that. I'm thinking that's what he said. But all I'm saying is this. We can ride the horse all you want. You can ride pause. Pause. That means no homo. You know what I mean? So, but my thing is that we can ride it all we want. But you just go ride it right down the hole. They want you to ride it right down. I mean, if you want to be technical, black people voted Republican before there was even, before the Democrat. Because, and there's a video to go on and say that you have more black people that are more conservative than not. Then people actually lead to think. There's a lot of conservative people out here that are African American, and to say that we were actually those type of people. You know what I mean? When you only look back at your own history. So my thing is, the Democratic Party have never done any. I don't know. Maybe I'm deluded, but I understand that my pocketbooks didn't have anything to do with who was in presidency. Not me. You get what I mean? So I never really seen anything as, the Reagan era was a little tighter than I forgot my man's name. Era. You know what I mean? You felt Reaganomics.
You had Reagan, you had Bush, and then you had Obama.
I wanted to say, what's my man name? I can't think of his name. I did a documentary on a report on him too.
Okay.
What's my man name? Played saxophone.
Clinton.
Yeah, Clinton. I don't know why it could pop in my head.
And I forgot about Clinton too. He was in there. Yeah.
People say Clinton years were decent years. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I've never seen this really affect me in terms of my finances. Maybe it's because I never really paid attention whether I'm up or down in finances. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And maybe I just never really looked at policies. I remember when we grew up with people who were on GA, government assistance, and they remember it affecting them in different areas. But in terms of, I mean, so I don't know. I don't know.
But people, who's in office? Like you said, you specifically, okay, but who's in office does impact in terms of consumer confidence, GDP,
right,
and economic growth.
Right.
So it does. For example, and this happened when I was in the military, if the president increases spending, so we're building more ships, right? So they're increasing recruitment to create more jobs and opportunities for people in the military. You get a president that comes in, this is what happened, who said, I'm going down on military spending. We're decommissioning ships and forcing people to retire or to leave early. That affects people's money. And depending on who's the president, that impacts people's pocket. And it did. So depends on who the president, it does impact. For example, you had the policies under Obama, they were averaging 223,000 jobs a month. And under Trump, it's like 180,000.
No, that's
something
not
happened.
real numbers. That's not real numbers, because then they show numbers that Donald Trump and Biden's numbers. Joe Biden and Donald Trump and Obama's numbers didn't change at all. In fact, they were even. And it's been people who talked about that on the news when they was in debates. And this lady was saying, no, it actually, the flow of cash of government purchasing and buying never changed under neither one of their administrations. So it's different people who throw that out. That right there could be debated. And now for some people, they'll say that they did better under Trump's money. See, I'm gonna be honest with you from what I'm gathering. This is just what I'm gathering. I could be wrong about this. But I think the only reason why Black people are even against Donald Trump more so is that they feel that he's racist more than the economy. I never really hear them say anything in specifics about what this man has done to the economy. I just always heard them say he's racist. And if he's racist, then it leaks out in different areas. Now, everybody know, I learned that as a baby, 2 years old, that whoever's in office, that it shifts the economy. That's just life. I've always been that way. So if you were to say that, then you would say that Donald Trump economy is better than Obama, because there's a whole lot of people who wanted Mr. Donald Trump in office, who are in the bigger as in terms of millionaires and billionaires.
Yeah, Trump made a claim. He said that Trump has started making a claim that his administration has done more for African Americans than any president since Abraham Lincoln, which the Washington Post So a key part of Trump's argument is the Black unemployment rate, which hit the lowest level ever, recorded 5.4%. In August 2019, the Labor Department began tracking the Black rate in 1976.
So I mean,
but you gotta be a critical thinker, because what constitutes, and I used to do evaluation. What I'm saying is, with unemployment, what constitutes the role? You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing: people who have been on unemployment for so long that come off, not because they got a job, but they no longer are qualified for unemployment, they drop out of that number. Mm-hmm. People get jobs, but they're still underemployed, but they drop out of that number. So when you look at that stat, and you can make a number read either way, depending on how you frame it. So even though even though I'm not discounting that perhaps more Black people did get unemployment, did they get sustainable income when they got employed? Or are we talking about Black people or people of color disproportionately having to work 3 and hell, 4 jobs just to make ends meet. So
Well,
we can't
well,
just look at it, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to be careful with those stats because you can really make them read how you want them to, depending on how you frame it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That when RW3 read those numbers or something in the area, that's what I'm telling you. You can't go by that because like that's why I said that this lady on the news just said that their government in terms of the way the economy was evenly done. Actually, it was at an even stance where Donald Trump can't take the claim that he was doing the system doing better. And that's why they made a statement. They said, "Well, Donald Trump and this economy, he's doing better than Joe Biden. Obama." And she said, "No, that's not true. Statistics show that in both economies, it's still the same. It never went up or down. It still stayed the same." So what I'm saying is that that's like then you might go down the street and somebody else gonna tell you something else. You know what I mean? When it comes to numbers, I don't ever believe in facts. You know what I mean? When it comes to numbers, I don't. Even though some are just the way they are, but if I don't have control to see these numbers, yeah, I don't trust either side. You know what I mean? But now I do believe when the lady said that. I believe that they're even. I believe they're even. I don't believe that Donald Trump is doing any better than when Obama was in office in terms of the dollar. Now, there have been more cop killings on Obama's watch than it were Donald Trump thus far. I think probably any presidency in terms of cop killings, I think it's been more on Obama.
It was a lot of crazy run-ins or shooting, like running to theaters, and
it was a lot on his watch.
Stuff on.
But now, and to say that, how can we blame that on that person? I can't blame the presidency. Well, because this guy was an idiot that ran into a school and shot the school up. I can't go back and blame him for that. That man wasn't even there. He didn't even know this was going to take place. Now, you may say, well, that's why we talking about this gunplay out here. And that's why we got to do something about the Second Amendment. You know what I mean? That's the only way you can place that in terms of being a president. But you can't blame whatever happens all the time on the president, depending on that system, how things are set up now. If it's through the laws and courts and all that, yeah, maybe so. But I mean, I can't blame you because somebody shot you in the head. Just because the Republic.
No, but you can hold them accountable for their response to it.
Well,
you know what I mean? And when Trump, and I will say this in the debate, when Trump was point blank asked about the where he stands with, the violence by the police, will he denounce white supremacist groups? Right. He would not. Like, that was his moment to, say to people of color, like,
if he would have said that, well, blacks, y'all think a lot of people would have voted for him?
I think they would have voted for. But no, I understand what you said, Trey, but check this out. Here's the thing before you go into the statement. See, sometimes your words can come back and bite you in the butt. You just said that, but sometimes it's somebody influencing. It's Democrats that's running the city of Detroit. It's Democrats who run in Chicago. So I think it's even Democrats that's running Atlanta. So we don't want to. I wouldn't see. This is the thing. If you use that terminology that you just used, then shame on Chicago Democrats, shame on Detroit Democrats, shame on a lot of these low place areas that a lot of crime is going on and the parties that's running them are Democrats. So I wouldn't go down that road because that opens the door to a whole lot of different worms that's just going to crawl on out. And that's what people are people are saying that right now? They said, wait a minute, you talking about it's Democrats who's running the governments now. I mean, and the cities are terrible, and they've been doing it for years. Years they've been doing it.
But holding one party accountable doesn't automatically excuse the other party. So and again, I have to go back to Rev Al Sharpton. He says it best. We can work and chew gum at the same time. You know what I mean? So yes, you know what I'm saying? If there is poor leadership, regardless if it's Republican or Democrat, they need to be held accountable.
Right.
But we talk about the debate, and in that moment,
No, just the word.
Trump had a choice to take that time and say, I denounce white supremacist groups, and he did not. And that spoke volumes. That spoke volumes.
Right. It made him look like it showed him to be who he is. But here's the thing. Nobody's doubting that. Right. You know what I mean? He is who he is. It doesn't matter. But that don't make him a bad president.
Right.
See, that's my thing. That doesn't separate him. See, a lot of us is emotionally inclined into this president, this particular president. Our emotions are caught up in him. He said this, and and just all you hear. You never hear about him really changing policies. You will hear him be like, I mean, this is the same man who signed prayer back into school. I mean, he's where it's been taken out for so long. He signed it back in order. No, I believe prayer. And I'm not voting. I'm showing you how they're both bad people. It's not one or the other. They both equally bad people. They just play certain roles. I can give you a lot of good qualities about this racist or a guy who appears to be racist. You know what I mean? I can give you a lot of good, on both of them. Well, I don't know about Joe Biden because I'm honest, I don't really know a lot about Joe Biden because to me, he played that much of a quiet role in that presidency. I barely heard him. I just didn't hear a lot. Just like Pence, you don't really hear. He does a lot of stuff, but you don't really focus in on it. And that's how it was with Joe Biden. I never really focus in on the things that his accomplishments, unless I just go YouTube it. You know what I mean? Because he was just that guy sitting in the back. You know what I mean? Most of them are.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff in the background.
But I don't know. Now here's the thing, right? So conspiracy hat, right? So as soon as this man says something about and then if you notice something when he said what's the name of them boys called?
The Proud Boys.
The Proud Boys. He said stand back.
Stand by.
And stand back and stand by. But when he said stand back, it was like he just didn't know what to say and he fumbled the word and said it. If you listen to it clear, I think this guy just don't know what he's doing. I really do. I just believe this guy doesn't know, or is either intentional, or he really just don't know what he be saying when he be talking. He just be rambling off the mouth. Because to me, Donald Trump seems like an angry person. He seems like if it don't go his way, he become really, really angry, and he just lose thought of what he's saying. He just say whatever comes out of his mouth. And I think that's the kind of, to me, I think he seems like that kind of guy. Because look, he was a bully. He was a bully. He was bullying. And don't you ever don't ever say you're smart. And this guy was a straight up bully. I think it was intentional. I just really do, because anybody with common sense should know you should denounce racism. Anybody with common sense should know you should always only focus on on what you're saying, because right now you leading a little bit behind. It's not the time to get into an argument. It's the time to flush this guy out to see if he a real president. Is he really saying none of that happened? And he should have. Now, after you said it, all of a sudden you said, is that to reflect what you said at the door? I don't know. Obviously we don't wish any bad. I don't wish any ill will anybody. This is terrible. This is a terrible disease, or whatever you want to call it. And we wish the president that he will get be in health and good health for his sake. You know what I mean? So it's never like it. But I'm saying, but all of a sudden this happens. Does it take off the reflection of what just happened? You know what I mean? So they can shift the thinking. Oh, they don't think about that. That's not in the news no more. This is in the news. This is bigger than that. So let's push away from there. Hopefully they won't keep their mind, because that was a big mistake. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And coincident, the next election is supposed to be, the next debate's supposed to be the young lady who we was talking about, who Trump let out of jail, out of prison. You know what I mean? Is that a coincidence?
She got let out of prison?
Yeah, he pardoned her.
Oh,
He pardoned her. Young lady I was talking about, she's actually she's Republican, voting to her. But now all of a sudden, this lady coming out to speak. I don't know. It just either is so good. It's just a great coincidence that everything just line because life is just perfect. Or I don't know what else to say.
I just wonder, do they got this all written up like a skit or something? On their little agenda stuff. This is gonna happen. Then this is gonna happen next.
Well, they said that they knew the president advisor. I think that was her position. The lady that they knew that she was positive for COVID prior to the debate, and she was on a plane with the president and his wife and advisors. So to that degree, it does make you question how much of this is a political move. Because the debate was such a debauchery, but
and even make this.
The thing about it is, it's like he is a horrible president. You can't because of your position, the influence you have. For him to meet with Bob Woodward and to specifically say, I know how catastrophic this is, but on purpose, I'm going to downplay it.
Yeah,
knowing the influence that I have, that people, and we've seen it in action, people are sitting at these rallies, no mask, following his downplaying of it, and knowing that the fact he contracted it. Now, hold on. He contracted it. No. Now he's in the hospital getting some of the best care that everybody else that's died is not getting. They're doing some treatments on him.
I know about it.
That other people aren't even getting.
Well,
so he's able to put that out there. All them people are dying. That makes you a bad president. That alone.
He's a president. He's supposed to. If their World Cup to the end, he gonna be placed to be protected before me and you will. So he's a president. But listen to what I'm saying. And all of that you said, let me ask you a question. I'm not talking. I want to know. Do you think this is just him doing this himself? All the things that you said, do you think that this is him doing this? It's just him doing this all himself. Do you believe that?
Believe doing what? Like all of what?
Everything that you said.
Everything you said. Show only.
Well, because you're not talking about to him being a horrible person, to that radio clip that you just read, the language on, to everything else. Do you think he just this guy is sitting back and just saying, I'm just a hateful person and I'm gonna do this, that, and this, and that's what I'm gonna do? Do you believe it's just him?
I think he's so steeped in his white privilege. They even talked about how the family, because I don't know if you saw it today, but the moderator, I said his name earlier,
Chris Wallace.
Chris Wallace, he was asking the guy. He said the place that they had it in Ohio, that the policy was everybody wear a mask. And the guy came back like, well, we all got tested. And Chris Wallace was like, that's not the point. We all got tested. But the policy was that other than myself, Biden, and Trump, everyone else was supposed to wear a mask. But the first family took their mask off. Yes, they came in, took their mask off, and did not social distance.
Right.
And I bring up that point to say they are so steeped in privilege that they don't believe, or they operate and make decisions from a point of white privilege. That's the best way I can put it. So do I believe that it is him by himself? It's not him by himself if you factor in all those things that support and perpetuate his white privilege.
Yeah, I just think that we are asleep.
We got a comment. Okay, go
Read
ahead.
that comment.
Okay, Zaman says debaters present arguments and defend it with plausible points. There was nothing close to that in that debate.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't anything that was anything that you could take home and say, hey, listen, I got good information, and now I can make an educated decision on who I believe is going to be president. I mean, that didn't happen. I think it was intentional.
But some people still have that thought, like, well, I'm still voting for Joe Biden.
And I'm still voting for Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, and they don't know why.
And see, they know that this is going to exist. The best man wins. So I guess my thing is that to get back to what I'm saying, I don't think that this man if this is him by himself. I don't believe that this is him by himself. And I'm gonna tell you, even if there was a time that Donald Trump was in so much debt, where no lender in America would want to give him any money or even his different businesses. He had to go over there, I think it was Germany or somewhere over there, and borrow all of these billions of dollars. Do you believe that people, and he never really paid back, still in debt, allegedly. I'll throw allegedly up there. Listen, if we believe that life is just like it is, it's just bad people who just going up here and say, hey, and I hate this, and I say this. Okay, then they'll believe, yeah, I hate you. I mean, that's not shame on you if you believe it, if you're a believer. I'll say that. I'll use that statement. Non-believers, I get it. But shame on you if you believe that. You couldn't possibly believe the Bible and think that way. Because it doesn't, the Bible don't even line up to how these people are acting out here to just think that it's just him. There's a scripture to say, I mean, and then you have to believe the script, you have to believe the word. When the Bible even say, we fight not against flesh and blood, but against principalities in high places. So it's bigger than, and those high places not necessarily meaning a world that you never did visit. I mean, people. You know what I mean? Principalities is a backyard of a system that has a ruleship over you. I mean, all I'm saying is that it's never been the presidents. If you read certain books out here, you will always understand it has always been the banking system. There's a quote from one of the, I can't say his name on here, that he says that he don't even care about political position. The man that holds the money make the decisions. I mean, there's books out here, but we buy into this that we think it's really them. I don't think they could put on the best act this year. And in these presidents, if you can't, even with Obama, if you can't see the acting that's going on to form a government, I mean, now here's the thing. If you're a believer, I'll say shame on you. You know what I mean? But if you're not, then I get it. You know what I mean? Because you're going to get lost up in there because we really think that this world's going to stay the same. And it's going to change. I mean, you know what I mean? It's going to change. So
well, this is the thing. No more. And this is the thing. I think people can't, give credit and not give a kind of like I've heard people, I don't know if on our podcast, I don't know if it came up about under Trump, this whole criminal justice reform, right? And him, quote unquote, getting credit for it. So we can't give him credit for that.
Right.
And not give him the accountability for other things. Because we know with that reform, there was an act that was actually, the baseline was 2015 bipartisan. And then when it came up now, and then when Congress passed it and it went to the Senate, before it was even sent to the president, which he had nothing to do with, Cory Booker and another Republican, they had to pull in stuff from the act in 2015 before they all agreed on it that said those minimum mandatory had to be added to that. And there was a Democrat who and a Republican who came together to add that. Then Trump signed it. Now he's getting credit. So my point is, like you said, I agree with you, Tone. It's always other factors that play into decisions that are made. But the point is, if we got to make a decision. Either he's going to get credit or be overall responsible for whatever happens under his watch. That's just how it goes. And of course, there are other systems connected to that. And what I do know for a fact, and I do agree with this as well, I know for a fact, because that was put out to the regular media, I know for a fact this stuff happened behind the scene. I'm gonna give you an example. I had a top secret security clearance in the military. I was just one step below where if I had to do communications in the White House, that's where it was. I'm gonna give you all an example. I was reading the AP press because I was in communications. So what y'all was reading, it was saying, this is what's happening with the military operation. We were totally 100% doing the opposite. The public was getting one thing, and we're doing something totally different. So I know for a fact what they communicate publicly and having a clearance, there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that the public is just unaware of. So I agree with you on that.
Well, but I'm saying to the fact that whether they do it bad or good, to me, I think everything is always set up to be played out. So it don't matter if it's good or bad. Cause I mean, it's still the same thing, and it goes back to me in terms of these two guys. And some people may say, well, I'm a vote the lesser of two evils. Why? I'm not. I don't want either evil. Either evil. It don't matter if one is. How can one be better? Evil is evil to me. It's not a. All I'm saying is this, and this. I just believe. Now, and let me go clear on the record. I'm not voting for either president, but I am going to go vote. In terms of other things that's going on, and either whether like Lovely T was saying last week, whatever. But I'm not voting for a president. I am going to vote, but because I can care less. Either one of them are going to make my life so much different than it is right now. I mean, now, I would say. The danger because see, I'm gonna tell you how a fair guy I am, but I'm giving you clarity. I'm not just saying a lot of words. I'm giving you clarity on what I'm saying because I'm gonna show you how I listen. The only difference between Joe Biden and Trump in terms of some danger from if I were to be a listener to this debate, I would say, the police don't stand by to beat up some more black folk if Trump get back in office. Because he just seemed like he just giving them, I'm for police officers, and you hear a lot of people on the Republican Party side, we need to put, and then Donald Trump said, and if I'm elected, I'm going to even put more police back out on the street. See, now those are the things that I hear. So, you know what I mean? And those, now that's dangerous to that person, because since you are so much of a debate, you don't realize the words that you're saying could actually cause harm. Because if you put more police officers out there and you win elections and you feel the way you feel, people going to say, I'm free to do this now. Whoever's in those high positions, police officers or whoever it may be, or even those racists that sit behind different offices and businesses who can say, well, yeah, you know what, this is all about this and that because of that perception. So now, just because you say I'm gonna throw more police officers, and that's what Trump said he'll do. He'll put out even more officers. He said that even in this debate. So now on both sides, I see things that are negative. Yeah. I didn't say positive. I say it's a negative. I mean, in the real world, you might say that Joe Biden is trying to sound a lot more unified.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? He's trying.
And that's critical. Like America, one of the things that makes America great are the principles by which we say that we stand upon. So like you said earlier, it is about the principles. You're absolutely right. And even though there is no perfect candidate, and I think that's naive for someone to believe that there is a perfect candidate, which candidate upholds the principles that are most aligned with what you believe is right or is just, or we are, like, you're going to hear more and more in news the term tribalism, because that's the new perspective, or the hot perspective right now, is that this country has become very tribal. The Hispanics don't want to be American, they want to be Hispanics. Blacks is blacks. Latin, you know what I mean? Like, whites is whites. Like, everybody wants to be kind of tribal, separate. You know what I'm saying? And that's not those.
Not the United States anymore.
Exactly. And so I think we need a president that is capable and willing and capable of bringing us out of tribalism and seeing us as the United States of America. So to me,
this is where, you know, the difference when we talking about, I guess I'm infusing like Obama and the president and influence, right? So during Obama's presidency, what Obama didn't do was utilize the different agencies and his appointments personally. He allowed them to operate independently as far as we can see. For example, let's take Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, with her on the server and all those things going on, not only did Obama not insert himself and try to tell him what to do, or did not say, she's on my cabinet, I'm going to forbid her from going to Congress to testify. She testified for what, 8 or 9, 10 hours or what have you? And he did not prevent or try to influence the FBI from doing the investigation when they actually did come to the conclusion that she did do some things improper. So let's flip. So now we have Trump, where anytime someone that's on his cabinet, he's, oh no, you can't go. You can't go talk. You can't. So let's check it out though. Then when Sessions came in, because Holder had consent decrees in Baltimore, Chicago, but what he did was Trump encouraged the Justice Department to insert themselves and try to pull the consent decree, which a lot of what these police departments saying, y'all are being unfair in these black communities. So we're gonna put decrees from the Department of Justice so you could operate righteously in these communities. Trump came in and they tried to insert themselves in Baltimore and say, no, we got to stop putting these restraints on officers because we're messing with morale. And a federal judge had to jump in and overrule the Justice Department that Trump sent in to pull back on those decrees. Then William Barr, he's coming in doing the same thing, saying we're not going to encourage consent decrees in these black communities. They're trying to hold these cops accountable. Also, another thing he did, what he did was
You're talking about
Trump. I'm talking about Trump administration. And what they did was, you can look it up, they're increasing privatization of prisons on a federal level. Trump, why we want more prisons, bro? And then on top of that, this is the last thing.
It's designed to have more prisons because Obama didn't. He didn't make programs of concession. So
I just gave you some facts about during Trump's presidency. Those things are facts.
But that's a seesaw game. That's a seesaw game. Because listen, out of everything that was said, all I got to do is ask you, how have black people's lives changed when Obama was in office that affected them economically,
Yeah.
economically, where they're doing way better than they doing now. And soon as they crossed into Donald Trump, everything went down. Give me those numbers, because it should have been up. We had this black man in office. It should have been way up. I know people who
we should have been in houses.
Yeah, I mean, where's those? So no matter what, the worstest thing that anybody can ever say is that Obama was the pretty picture of helping black people off. If not, if anything, he should be more on the spotlight, because he was black, and black folks are still going through the same thing they went through with Donald Trump that they went through with.
Listen, I know we can't always see direct cause and effect. And I know, like, from a business mind person like yourself, Tone, like, economics rules, you know. However, I will say this. Again, for most of the people in my circle, who I would say are working class folks, when we were going through the Depression, where we, like, all of my friends who were homeowners, like I said before, I had a girlfriend that had 3-4 houses, and had to one by one let them go during the Bush era, where they allowed these banks to do predatory lending and just run out of control. I would have been in a lot worse condition had it not been for some of the forgiveness policies that were in play at that time. I was able to walk away from my house and not have to take that loss and put it as part of my income, or what, you know. There were tax breaks. There were protective things in place that allowed for us, the people that I know, to not just fall under as we were trying to go through the recession. It was his administration, Biden, who helped out the 3 auto industries. Those were in Michigan. So
home prices have been steadily upward on the climb since bottoming out in 2011 during Obama's, like you said with your friends, Lovely T, during his administration, with the Federal Reserve rates being what they were in 2011, the housing has been going up since Obama's administration, 2011.
It was going up even with Donald Trump's. It was going up even right now. It's going up.
Hold on, Tom. Listen to what I'm saying. It started with Obama. It's been going up ever since.
That doesn't make you become a president because I'm confident in buying a house. I mean, it's the truth. I mean, how my thing is that you're fooling yourself, and if you don't see your own local from Detroit to Chicago, shame on you. These are the same people that you say that's worth this team, but their communities are losing.
She's gave you an example.
All the time.
She's gave you an example.
And this Democrats is running.
Lovely T just gave you an example, Tone.
But even furthermore, America, so here's the thing. Here's the other thing that Obama did. And this goes back to what I was saying in terms of being a direct cause and effect, is that I truly believe that black kids, that this generation, the millennials, because they were able to see themselves in front of that TV in office, see the possibility, and because Obama's message was consistently engage in the civic process, engage. To me, that had a indirect but still impact on the level of engagement that you see from this generation right now. Just as Trump's tone has fueled these white supremacy groups in a way that we didn't see when we did see it, but they're like at a whole different level of confidence since Trump has come into office. So to me, that too is important when you're talking about the leader of the free world. All of that is important, not just his economic policy, but his ability, once again, to lead a people.
Right, but let me ask you this: do you believe in a new world order? Because that's all Obama talked about. Obama talked about global. Listen. Let me tell you. Let me tell you this. Again, I'm gonna go on record. I wish I could show it that I didn't vote for neither one of them. I wish you could take a camera and then you can take a picture so I can show it to you and write in my name on it so you can see. But my thing is that I mean,
see, the pandemic recession triggered more than 22 million job losses, but we were on an upward spiral, even economically, but due to the pandemic. So we can't say, oh, because of Obama,
Right.
because of Trump, the economic has gone down.
I'm quite sure that you can always go deep in. But if we're probably better researchers on this end. If we wanted to really research like y'all doing right now as you talking, we can do the same.
No, look, Tom, all this is, I had this on my desk.
I'm saying
I got a desk full of research. I ain't doing it right now. I got it on my desk, bro.
But it's still research. It's still research.
I research a lot for a lot of different reasons. I'm an educator. It just happened to be here.
Listen to what I'm telling you.
I'm listening, bro.
All I'm telling you is you still looked it up. My thing
for a lot of different reasons.
But listen to what I'm saying. I don't care about the reasons. I'm saying we can do the same thing. I can take my fingers and do the same thing and pull up something. And I guarantee you I can find something that's going to denounce what you just said. That's tit for tat. And those are real little. You ain't even, the things you said, I haven't heard anything that actually brought Black people out of their economic state and brought them into better areas. For one thing, I can remember, if you want to tell the truth, in Obama's term where the housing crisis went under. On his watch, it went under. Boom! It crashed. It went under. It crashed under his administration. And those are things that affected a lot of Black people.
They said U.S. government debt. They said both Obama and Trump have been criticized for growing the national debt. So it's both of them. It's not just saying.
I'm glad you said that, but hold on. You're absolutely right, Lovey T. But what it is, Trump has grown the national debt more than anybody in history. I do agree. It grew under Obama, but Trump more than any president in history. So I agree with that.
Well, that's because of white society, though. That's because of white society. It's not because of Black. It's because of white society. You know what I mean? All I'm saying is the facts are, to me, well, I won't say facts. In my opinion, is that you could say what you want to say, but it's on neither side. I concern myself with the Black vote because how is it affecting my own people? And in neither administration, I don't see this great success that making us equal to our counterparts for some people. And then even for those who think they are, they probably still make it less. So all I'm saying is that it showed you on this debate. You've seen the truth on this debate, but yet we still try to find some things to pull out. We try to pull out some things that didn't show itself. Now, I named a couple of things on both sides. At least I'm coming to you with some information that I've seen on both sides that can say, okay, that was not good. Okay, well, that was bad. But then, I mean,
so it has said that during Obama's administration that they were seeing wages grow faster again, but they didn't get it to where they want. So when summer 2018 hit, it started going up. That's when it says that and finally they see the average hourly earnings rising above 3%, and that was during Trump's administration.
See, so you can find those. You're gonna pull things out. But here's the thing. I guess what I'm saying is that I don't know what we're looking for. I don't know. Now, here's the question that I would like to ask everybody. And I'm just honest. I want to know specifically. Let's get some specifics. Why are you, I'm going to start with Lovely T. Why are you voting for who you're voting for? I'm talking about in terms of policy. Why are you voting
not personal?
Yeah, not personal. I'm saying in terms of policy, what are you looking for that interests you in terms of these presidencies?
Well, for me, I think that again, there's a danger in this country moving towards and leaning towards a more tribalistic way of life, and so I really want to see the country move towards more policies that that are inclusive, and that push towards equity, so that all people can feel engaged, or and again, that doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect, but however, there should at least be an attempt. For example, even with global warming, it concerns me if you're the president and you think that global warming doesn't exist. If you think that the reason why the sole primary reason why California is burning the way it is because of forestry officers, or whatever you call them. You know what I mean? Like seriously, like of all the documentaries that exist out there that talk about not just California, but the polar ice caps and this and that, and so I need this country to remain in the forefront of ingenuity, of innovation, of the land of the free and the brave, and be able to be in the pursuit of happiness, whatever that means to you. And so those are like the ground very foundational principles that I'm looking for when I say, who do I think is going to be better aligned with those principles as the president of the United States?
All right. What about you, RW3?
I think the reason why we know why I'm not voting for Trump, because number one, I think not utilizing
why are you voting for the person that you're voting for? Not why you're not voting for the other party. That's too easy. I'm saying, why are you voting for the person that you're voting for?
Well, I'm telling you.
No, you're not.
I'm telling you, no, because you're asking me, and I'm telling you why. Because Donald Trump is so bad, I don't care what the president is. My point.
No, I'm talking about
anybody. That's not Trump.
To the question first. You can't just say how you.
Why am I voting for the person I'm voting for? Because Trump is so bad. That's why.
I said policy.
Policy.
That's what I said. I didn't say that's too easy to say why you. I said the policy. What is the policy? What are policies that interest you? The reason that why are you clicking on the computer and trying to find something real quick? I'm telling you
why. I'm sitting here looking at you. What are you talking about?
I know how some people like to cheat to make it seem like they know what you're talking about. So my thing is, I'm asking you, what are things that you see in your president between these two? You can take a cheat sheet, whatever. I'm just saying, the things that you feel.
Oh, come on now, you got Lady B right there looking up stuff too now. So come on.
I do all the time, or Tasha does, because that's what this thing is about, research. But I ain't gonna fake it. I'm gonna just let you know tonight. However hey, no point intended. I'm just saying, I'm not gonna fake it. I'm just going.
Lady BB's sharing content, so when you
we
see
share
Lady B on here, I'm sharing on different platforms and everything.
Yeah, so. we really want you to get. See, this is the thing. I'm not in a debate. I'm not in a competition, because if you're fooling yourself, if you think either one of them could, we're gonna listen. I can't wait to whoever be president. I just can't wait to whoever's going to be president.
But it's not just the presidency, Tom. Like it is the presidency. It is, but I bet you this. I bet you this, and we could bet money, or we could bet a lunch, or whatever. But I bet you this: if Biden does get in office, well, hell, right off the rip, with his vice president being a woman of color, I bet you that cabinet is gonna showcase more diversity. You know, even if it's conservative or liberal. When you have a lived experience, you cannot deny your lived experience as a person of color. I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, or otherwise. And I guarantee you, it won't look like the cabinet that is there now, which is primarily all white men.
Conservatives, right? But I mean, okay. So my thing is, yeah, that's right. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. It's just, to me, this is just if I think that it's fine, but you are a socialist. If you do vote for Democrats, you are a socialist. You're a socialist. That's what you are. And you believe in this government that's going to pretty much support you, and globalization, and we all work together. Yeah, one world government. That's what socialists do. That's what I hear. You're not a capitalist. You're a socialist. You know what I mean? So, and that's
well, you know what? If that's the case, that's the case. I don't necessarily think it's whatever you call what I believe in. Like I'm even careful about labeling it socialist.
That's what he is. He's a socialist.
Who attaches good? Who attaches judgment on that?
Election there. He said
isn't Canada a socialist country, and they are also a country with the
RW3 said he wasn't.
Show me where he said I am a socialist.
Type it in conversations. And when they were going through their different, I know I get it. I know the game you playing, but I'm just saying, on your time, when you feel like you got the time, even through when they were trying to run for take their nomination, why do you think him and what's his name? The president, the one who lost again.
Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, why do you think him and Bernie Sanders are so close? They buddies. They have same close view. He is a socialist. I don't know.
He's not. He didn't say it. He said it?
I hear you.
Comment.
I'm asking you, do you say he said that, Tone?
I said that his views, if you go back, you're gonna have to do some work. It ain't gonna be that he said. You're gonna have to actually follow what they were saying, so it won't just be this easy write-off.
I got a comment. Let me read it.
Go ahead. You gotta do the work and look at it.
He said the planners drove a wedge between blacks and lower class whites and forced you or them situation, then turned around and gave Native American land away for free. This class of white folks became the slave patrols and the police. Now that wedge is falling apart with black and white folks protesting together. That's the division we are dealing with still. Read the new Jim Crow, Mass Incarceration in the Age of Color Blindness by Michelle Alexander.
Wow. See, he said he dealing with your guns. Joe Biden said he's dealing with your guns when he elected. He don't. All I'm saying. Okay, so listen.
So
if he become president, we're gonna have this nice world, and everybody is going to be agreeing with each other. Different. I can't get into specifics because then it will be crashed down. But it's a lot of things that's gonna go down in a democratic world. It is. And listen, even in the Republican world, blacks don't fit. Donald Trump threw out a package to go to do whatever. He threw out he put something on the table. Now here's the thing. Whether it never happens or not, Joe Biden ain't putting that on the table. He haven't said anything what he gonna do for the black folk. Here, even if this is all the game, at least Donald Trump and his corruption say, I'm gonna give these N-words, I'm gonna give them this. Here, read this. And I heard people when he was sending it back, I heard black people, yay! Ooh, I just heard that in the back. Ooh. At least this man have said.
You say at least it's overt, huh? At least it's in your face.
Yeah, but at least he's saying something.
No, let me say this. Let me say this. And you always encouraging me to do the research. You need to do the research on this. I know for a fact, I read, and part of his infrastructure and economic plan, Joe Biden said, I'm going to invest in the infrastructure of the United States in the inner city communities to empower blacks. He said it. That's part of his plan. Look it up.
And when you talk about who's talking about the black agenda, Tom, like,
hold on, wait a minute. That's all Joe Biden said? That's it?
No, you just asked me a question.
More than Trump. That's more than Trump.
I gave you specific. That was specific.
Ain't specific on there.
That's specific.
I didn't know that wasn't. That's not specific. If you know
infrastructure and investing in it. How
specific?
What did you give me? What did you just give us? What did you just tell us that Trump said specific where the black people said yeah? Could you repeat that again?
It was I thought it was 500 million or 500,000 or something. You don't even know what I'm gonna say. You just shaking your head like it was going towards I think it was going towards the colleges.
Oh yeah,
it was money.
The black HBCU.
He said that it was so many millions and hundreds of millions was going to go into black businesses to help them to build their own community. He was giving specific numbers to the economic as well as the educational system in the black community, and it was something about more this big support. But it was all about dollars going into your.
Well, we should hear that in the next debate, then.
Your back pocket.
Do we want to see? Do we really think another debate is going to get us there?
I'm not playing your game. I'm not. Listen, what I'm saying. I'm out of this. I know they both playing games, but I'm doing what y'all doing. I'm saying what you said. You for real. I'm not for real. You actually for real. I'm not voting for either one of them. But I'm just saying I know y'all for real. But
what I'm asking, Tony, is do you think a second debate there's a possibility that Trump will be quarantined for 14 days. That runs into timelines with the debate. Do you think that we will get anything more in a second debate? Is it worth having a second debate? And I pose that to the group.
I think so, because I like to have the fun. So I think they should do all three of them so that it can add more and more to seeing how much of a joke this really is. And it's up to you to pull it out. Say, wait a minute.
I don't think they should do it.
I would love to see it.
It says the Platinum Plan promises to open up $500 billion in federal contracting opportunities in black communities via infrastructure spending. It's not clear in the final plan, but he passed $1.5 trillion infrastructure bill in July. So yeah, it goes on.
So, but it was a lot more in the package. They actually got a video of. You can just type that in. He's actually talking about it, and you can see it live. But no, this is what I'm saying. Whether it happened or not, I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe personally. I know you got your Democrats who always just gonna be Democrats, but I believe personally, and I'm gonna be honest, there's more Latinos just going Republican than they are Democrat now. A whole lot of them. But if right now, if Donald Trump had never showed that he was a racist and he pulled in Hollywood like he used to do, where he used to be with the rappers, the basketball players, it would be no question that he would be our next president, no matter what you say. Yeah, the only reason why Donald Trump would not be president is because he don't know how to talk to black people, and they already know or believe in their heart that he's a racist. That's the only, if he don't get it, that's going to be the only reason. It won't be policy. It won't be any of that kind of stuff. It's going to be solely based on racism.
I think you have a point. I'm not going to say I'm 100% there, but I do think you have a point.
We're going to see what happened in this election. We're going to see, because a lot of times we really don't pay attention like we say we do, but Donald Trump is a tweeter, which is terrible for him. I would take that phone and crash it. You know what I mean? Because that's what kills him, and that's what kill him. But I'm just, I don't know, man. It's just a game. I mean, I just wish, I wish people could see my perspective. Which, I mean, there's a lot of people who do, from those who think like I think. You know what I mean? This a game. We're set to head to a new world order.
Yeah.
They playing with your emotions. They making you think that they got the answer, and when they get in office, they're gonna lie to you like they been lying to you.
Yep.
In the next election, you gonna find the excuse to say why they didn't lie right or they did do it.
This is gonna be. I mean, because you're talking about, they trying to confirm this lady. What's her name? The for Supreme Court, and they say that she's highly conservative.
Yeah,
and so we know that if there's any question with the ballots, that they're gonna have to take it to the Supreme Court. I mean, it's like so much involved in this election than any election that I've been alive to see. I mean, other than like Florida with the flaps.
Yeah.
And like we have so much hinging on this election. It's just gonna be, like you say, Tone, it really is gonna be interesting to see how it all plays out. Now, and I will say this about Trump. I do agree that the mail-in votes is going to introduce a greater level of opportunity for mistakes to happen. I do agree with that. I don't necessarily think that's a Republican or Democratic thought. It would be wonderful if we could.
How so?
There's a lot of
oh my God, because
on the news I seen today, it was a lot of Black people whose votes got sent back, their ballots, because they didn't check a box right. Or
any mistake.
It's gonna be a lot of that.
Yeah, they can use it. I mean, he talked about that in the debate about how he feels gonna go down. He said his people to stand by. What they call the watchers or something people. He said he was giving so many where Black people would say hooty hoo. He was giving a whole lot of hooty hoos out to the people. Stand by. I seen the whole show, man. I thought this was comical. I thought it was comical.
It was.
Yeah, it was comical. I didn't see. I seen what I know or what I think. That I'm gonna throw it out there because I gotta throw it out there. I believe that I have to speak whenever I feel that I should. America and this world is being judged because of all of the things that it's done, and it knows what it's done through abortion to everything else. And Yeshua is what I believe is judging this earth. And it don't matter who be in office until a repentance come. This earth is going to be judged, and that's coming from a biblical perspective. So,
you just took it real deep.
Yeah. I mean, America is being judged. That's what's going on. That's what you see if you have any biblical understanding of what's going on in this season, and that's what I see. And that's what's going on. You know what I mean? Just from my perspective. For the ride. That's all I can say. Yeah, be ready for the ride because you're about to be on the loan. Next year, this presidency, I mean, if whoever gonna be in office, I believe it's gonna still get worse. That's just my opinion. I don't believe it matters who's in office. I believe that they just help fuel the agenda for those people that know what road that this world is going on, and they just help contribute to the agenda of what's going on, whether it be Republicans or Democrat, and they got you fooled. That's from my perspective. I mean, it's my who believe it, us and our people. Yeah.
This coronavirus is real. And I mean, I know we were talking about the debate, but I have to mention that, with the recent ruling of Governor Whitmore's is the executive power being taken away, and them saying that any ruling that she made after April 30th is not valid.
Yeah.
I think it speaks to the level of distrust that certain segments of this state either have either for Congress or for the governor. Like there, I mean, obviously, because from where I sit, I thought that she moved in the best interest of vulnerable populations or those segments of the state that had high populations who experience more vulnerability. Obviously, that's not the majority of the state. So my fear is once it goes to or it becomes a decision for Congress, you will have more folks leaning towards fully opening up this state. And
more people, let me tell you something. Like Shirky has already said, as soon as the judgment from the Supreme Court, because really they were just answering a question. They answered the question. So now he already said, you know what? All those required masks is unlawful. Yep. He's already said it.
Yep.
So they're ready to dismantle somebody going into a business and requiring masks. For sure, if that's tore down, more people are going to die in Michigan. Sure.
Well,
sure.
But here's the thing to that. That only came about because of those people going to the governor's office. They all had them guns, and she said, and then they went into the lawsuit. Right. So, but here it go, because obviously they're going to do that because she's a Democrat. You know what I mean? And it was more, I think, more Republican driven. You've seen the two interactions with Republican and Democrat in this situation or this lawsuit. I did anyway. You know what I mean? And I think that you have more people. I don't even want to touch that. I'm not even going to touch that because I got my mindset is either on that. I know understanding on that from my perspective. This vaccination is rolling out.
Yes,
you know what I mean? And you know what I always say? The best truth is time. The best truth is time. It don't matter what I say or what you say. The best truth is time, because whatever is going, the way it's going to go, it's going to play out. Trust me, it's going to play out. And whether us believe in it or not, you just going to be left in your.
Well, do you think that the president contracting COVID? How do you all think that is either going to help or hinder? You know what I'm saying? That's either going to help push folks towards more wearing of the mask, or do you think it's going to be like, oh, well, he got it, he recovered.
He's riding outside in the motorcade right now, don't you?
I'm serious.
In the right.
But he's president. That's the president. Anybody would do that, but they have to do that to keep confidence up with the people. And they also do that, and that's been proven even now with Reagan, where they showed him when he was sick, and he was actually really sick. They said they had to have the lady hold the IV away so they wouldn't see. So, I mean, that's something that they do.
That's a good point.
So he's not the right person for us to compare to what's going on in terms of the COVID thing. Now, is there an agenda behind it? I think so. I think it's to lower down that racist remark and the shift the thinking of people. I mean, this is what I believe. If it's true, we pray for them. We hope things. We don't wish anything bad. I'm going to keep saying that. But at the same time, I mean, you follow it.
Tone, do you think that, again, that as a result of this, since there was an agenda for it, people his platform will get stronger in terms of wear the mask when necessary, but not like his downplay. Like, do you think this experience is going to fuel the downplay of the seriousness of COVID?
I think it's going to upplay COVID, but I don't think it's going to matter in terms of black votes. You know what I mean? Because my thing is this: I believe that Trump needs the black vote. I believe that he needs the black vote in a whole lot of ways. He needs the black vote. You know what I mean? And I understand that there was a mistake, whether it was an intentional or a mistake made, and it has to be cleaned up. And I'm not just throwing out there to say that's why this is happening. But our sympathy, listen, in my line of work, money is made how sympathetic or how you can play to people's emotions that determines more of me being recognized and say, oh, get him because he could do this or he can make you feel this way. I mean, so my thing is, I think that that's a key in this in terms of him making that remark. You know what I mean? Winning sympathy, being sympathetic, and hey, let's get that off y'all mind. I don't want y'all to think that way. You know what I mean? Listen, the next day he tried to play back to him saying stand by and stand down. He told which I don't think I would have did. He said, I don't know who they are. Yes, you do know who they are. The man who actually you sat down with him and you did an interview. I mean, so it's so comical. Why would you even say that? I mean, it was so funny because they did this recording of this edit. Jazzy, push that screen back there again on the back screen. They were showing things remarks that Donald Trump would say that would build people up, and when bad things happen, he'll say he don't know them. You know what I mean? And they'll show.
He got a town hall tomorrow, 8 p.m. Tom.
Huh?
Biden got a town hall tomorrow, 8 p.m.
Where?
He's gonna be on national TV, and the people in the audience is gonna be asking questions. So I guess I'm
gonna be honest. I believe that to some degree, I believe that this world is it's going to change to a socialist. Whether people want to believe it or not, it's going to move that way because if there was different quotes about even China making a statement about how they believe that Trump is hurting the world forming its union. Now, what does that mean? If we not see, I'm gonna see. Can I pull this up real quick? I just see us moving to a socialist society, and I believe like a socialist society is where we should be heading in terms of biblical. So now read this for me, Tasha, if you can see it. This who's the guy who said it? Now this was a statement that was made by this guy.
This is the Defense Ministry spokesman. What's this? A colonist. Wu Kuan. He says many years of evidence shows that it is the United States that is the fomenter of regional unrest, the violators of the international order, and the destroyer of world peace.
See, the international and destroying the world peace. Those are words that means one world. He's interfering in that. So here Biden is for that. In fact, he wants that to happen. So the signs of a socialist. Now, if I was to think, and I was to put on my biblical cap, I think that we should move into a socialist society because that's where this world should head towards in terms of biblical prophecy.
For government?
For government, because it has to become, now I'm gonna make this word, you can take it how you want, because it has to become more corrupted. And now, so I guess you would say, what you gotta say, Democrats more corrupted, but I'm saying that socialist world has to happen in terms of the world being more corrupted because we all agree together, even to things that aren't biblical. So we should move. If I were to say that, then if my thinking, Biden should win. Joe Biden, on that perspective, and I mean, you can call it like you want. I'm just saying because of their views of how they view society. Now, if I was to put on a biblical cap, that's what I would say, that Joe Biden should win. He should win for that reason.
Even believers too. That's what they want. Is going towards that one world thought.
One world thought. He's more of a. He's more of a globalist than Donald Trump is. But I mean, Donald Trump, it don't matter. The road got to follow the road.
It has to go the way that the cars have to fall in the place.
Yeah, they have to fall. I mean, when it comes from conservative, abortion, when it comes to homosexual, homosexuality, when it comes to the laws of the guns.
Everything against the Bible.
Yeah,
so
I mean, he is that guy that plays. Now, don't think people think I'm coming for them. I'm just saying, and these are facts. You pick your own Bible up and read it, you're gonna see it's the same thing. That these are those views of the Bible. The Bible, it moves more conservative than socialist. You know what I mean? It's more. The Bible is more. But I'm just talking. Don't take this as just coming from me, because again, you already know how I feel. I'm not voting for neither one of these great men of valor
that make the world great again.
Yeah,
we got a comment. I don't know, Lady B, if you can read
I got Zumonde Ali. I worked at the polls. I ain't signed nothing if numbers didn't add up. Provisional votes are challenged at the polls, but clarified at the courthouse and the election commissions. So really, it is countable. We just need more Black people working the polls to see how it works. And I'm reminded that God hardened Pharaoh's heart and gave him a series of proof of his word up to the plague when it visited Pharaoh's home, taking out his firstborn before he accepted Moses' plea.
Yeah, that's true. On both ends, that's true. Obviously, again, the only mark I can go back to is the Hillary Clinton and the Trump, where it showed where Hillary Clinton should have been our next president. But she wasn't our next president because there's an agenda. Now, that's my perspective. She don't supposed to be until things clear up, and then it shifts over. I mean, I'm just only going to come. I'm going to only come from, and concerning this, I can only come from a biblical perspective, because that's what I believe my life is generated around. You see what I mean? So I don't believe it's generated around. I just believe these people are actors in this game that we need to play out called life. So that's just my belief. It don't have to be yours, but it's definitely mine. And I think that the proof is in his pudding.
Are we the what you call them people that stand in the background, in the movies?
Yeah.
What's those called? We got our actors, characters, and then we got our
I can play the background.
Yeah, the background.
Extras.
Yeah, we the extras.
Yeah, I'm the extra. Exactly. The cheerleader, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
But all I'm saying is, I can go for fact by fact and tell you that I have not seen any Democrat that was in office that made Black life better. I haven't seen it since it happened, and I believe you haven't seen it. I just think we could be in denial. I believe you haven't seen it either, because
part of it to me too, though, is create conditions for us to do it ourselves. Like we have to do it ourselves. We can't depend on somebody else to do it for us. However, as an ally to the needs of the Black community, you can create conditions that make it easier for us to thrive. And I say that, and I know we're coming to an end, but like you said, so much is in the news. I say that because on the news, I had to hear about a 6-year-old child being killed execution style, and that broke my heart. That broke my heart. And I'm like, we shout and do Black Lives Matter. Do it, people. Do it, Black people. How can you, as a human being, do that to a 6-year-old child? And it's story after story after story about Blacks killing Blacks. You know what I mean? So, and I know that's a conversation for another day, but it's like, how can you expect somebody else? I say it to my son, nobody is going to care about you more than you. How can you expect somebody else to care about you when you don't care about yourself? Right. And so so I don't know where I was going with that, but it just, it just really disheartened me, and it really makes the struggle hard. So I say that to say we as a people have to do the work.
Yeah.
Like, we can't sit back and expect a white man or a person that doesn't share the same lived experience to fully understand our experience and fully understand what it is we need and be able to lift us out of anything. But what they can do, like I said, as an ally, is create conditions that make it, that ease some of the challenge in us coming together and doing what it is we need to do to lift ourselves up.
Right, and we
Yeah.
should be still having this same conversation after having 8 years of a black president. This shouldn't be a conversation. And see, that's the thing for me. It's just, I only go by what I see and what I hear. I didn't see and I didn't hear anything that changed or moved our people, even to give them opportunity. Because even as a businessman, knowing how everybody can tell you how, even I haven't seen that where it was easier for a black man to get along, no matter who was president, or a person of color. I mean, and you could just go down through the history. We could play this game, but I think we in cognitive dissonance. I think we in that, even in Republicans and Democrats. I think we know that black people have always took the bad stick, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, and they just threw the niggas a little something. I'm gonna say that. They just gave them a little something. They give them something. They're gonna vote for us anyway. Just give them a little something. Yeah, because they take pride in their vote, because of that slavery thing. Hey, give them a little something. Just to hold them over. I believe that's the game that you're playing. I'm not whitewashed. My mind is not washed out. I know from my perspective and what I call to be the gift of life shows me something entirely different. And I'm going to say this last thing, and now I'm talking to believers out here. And what I've seen in my prayer time was you shouldn't even have a voice in this election. This election is not even for you. Now, that's not for a non-believer, that's for believers. But we get caught up in the arguments and the fighting as though that these men, where the Bible said that curse is a person who put their trust in man. You should never be doing that anyway. Your trust should be in Yahshua. Yeah, there's politics, I get it, but they're not going to go for you. They never have. So, I mean, that's just my rant that I have to throw out there. Everybody can throw out their own. That's why this page is equal opportunities. You can say whatever you want, and your views should be respected, no matter what they are. And that's just mine from my perspective. I don't know. Who have any last words on from this election that can help or hurt these candidates? Nothing.
No, I ain't got no last words.
Last words. I'm still gonna encourage, like, the message needs to be clear, and that message is to get out and vote. There's a lot at stake on the local level, in the judiciary, just even beyond the presidency. Like, people need to they need to vote, and they've made it, like, this year more than any other. Like, they've really advertised so many different ways that you can vote. You know what I'm saying? So I encourage people to get out and vote. Get out and vote. Get out and vote.
What did you think about that Atlanta, Georgia, about the booty get out and vote with the strippers? Did y'all see that?
You know what? I haven't seen it, but I heard about that, Tony.
What?
Going to the poll.
Let's play the video real quick. I mean, these are strippers. Oh my God.
Yeah, I heard about that. I haven't seen it, Tony. This is a commercial.
Only in the ATL.
It's not. It ain't bad. No, it's not bad because it's got to be played for television. But just put it up. This is
So we're gonna close out with this video, y'all.
Yeah, we close out with it. But this how deep this is.
Dancers from Atlanta strip clubs are creating a very unique ad called Get Your Booty to the Pole. And it takes a backseat to no one. Dancers talk about voting is so important, and they're showing off their skills. It's not safe for work, folks, but it's a big hit on social media.
Yeah, that's why she got the clean version.
Yeah.
Lovely T says she loved that video.
Huh?
Lovely T, that's her video now.
Ah.
Well, I mean, that's the voting.
Here we go, yeah.
What you got to say, Lovely T, about your video? Okay, play Lovely T video again. Go ahead.
Can't make it rain if you locked up on school. Want trades and coding taught in our schools? Then vote for the school boards that will prepare us for the job market. Want an in-cash bill? Well, then vote for the sheriffs and county officials that feel the same way you do. But you talking about, oh, they gonna pick who they gonna pick, shawty. Ferguson just elected their first black mayor. You know how that happened? It's clear Black lives don't matter to some of our current elected officials. If they matter to you, then don't let other people decide who's going to run your community. Get your booty to the poll. Get your booty to the poll. Get your booty to the poll.
And what they said is not bad. You know what I mean? It's just
Lovely T, what they saying ain't bad.
Hold on, but check it out. Now this was I think a black woman. It was her. She didn't want to put the money together for this commercial because her thing was that it's just not. Everybody has a level. That they are poor towards, and it's just she said in Atlanta, stripping is like one of the biggest things out. So they use that because this is how important to them it is for you to vote because we just think it's about a racist, person in office. So I'm gonna be honest, they really want Donald Trump out of office. This whole election is designed about getting Donald Trump out of the office. I had somebody call me on the phone the other day when I was driving. Can we ask you some questions about your vote? I said what I said and hung up. You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing foul with that. But I'm just saying, it's this how deep this thing is deep, man. They try to get y'all colored folks out here. They want you out here voting. And we'll see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Right.
But guys, listen.
Thank you.
That's the end of the podcast. Now, next week we'll talk offline.
Yeah, we'll talk offline.
Yeah, we'll talk offline. Okay, so stay on our RW3 just so we can say next week we're gonna have to do we're gonna run it, but we'll talk offline. Guys, like and share this page.
Yes, right.
And I'll and you know what to do.
Lovely day.
Yeah, and do what you do and stay safe and do what you feel is necessary. Vote or don't vote. Whatever you feel is necessary.
3 strikes, I'm out.
Okay.